Hello, America. Welcome to the Junto Podcast, where we promote the practical applications of critical thinking and bold creativity. I'm your host, Edgar Mills. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Junto Podcast. Thank you so much for staying with me. So, some of you may know, I don't know, I was never really a big sports fanatic. I don't follow sports that much. I don't track other dudes' statistics or their careers. I never cared much for the organizational drama, you know. There's always drama in the MLB and the NFL. And I don't really, honestly, man, to the woes of the millionaire players, you know, they're not making enough millions, or the billionaire club owners who, you know, get taxpayer dollars to build their multi-million-dollar stadiums and then move to another town, you know, 5 years later. I don't know, crap like that. I never got into it. I like playing certain sports. I like to play baseball. I love baseball. I even like watching baseball, but like minor league. And yeah, man, I do admire like the athleticism, the raw athleticism or the skill like that these individual dudes put in the work to achieve these great feats of athleticism. And it's awesome. And I do like that, right? But as far as just tracking sports and watching every game and all this and that, I just got more important things to focus on. But everyone loves the Olympics. Yeah. So we're going to, these past Olympics, and specifically I'm going to talk about like Team USA, right? Hockey. They were inspirational. Yeah. Both the men and women's teams both got gold, and they got the full attention of the entire nation, and it sparked national pride. Now, I know that's a thing nobody likes to have these days, is national pride. And the woke activists get mad if somebody's proud to be an American or actually stands for the national anthem. But look, beyond all that, right? You had these young athletes out there hustling, and they brought home gold for the USA. In a sport that isn't typically like USA's strong point. Yeah, hockey. So never mind trying to politicize any of that stuff. Just the fact that they went out and won on determination and skill. Jack Hughes, you know, his toothless smile and what I'm going to go ahead and say is an innocent, you know, boyish face. That image is going to be an icon, you know, for a whole generation of young hockey players. When that photo of him threw his helmet off, and then that's pure American grit and just the deepest, most genuine joy you're ever going to see on ice. Yeah, the face of a generation right there. And then the women's hockey team matched that fire. Yeah. Megan Keller buried the overtime winning goal and showed the whole world, that, you know, heart isn't just gender specific and skill isn't just gender specific. Not only in a typically non-American strong sport like hockey, but also women's hockey, which is not, yeah. It was great stuff, man. America, USA. So all that back, you know, a few weeks ago sets the stage perfectly for this show. I've been mulling this over for a while about doing an episode on Shoresy. Yeah. Now, I'm just talking about Team USA, and Shoresy is a Canadian show, but it's about hockey, sort of. No, not sort of. It's about hockey. But that show, well, yeah, it's inspiring. It's easy to glance at an episode and write it off as just crude humor, but if you actually watch a few episodes, it's going to pull you in. If you can see past the like raunchy jokes and the very foul language, it's a story that's built on loyalty, definitely hard work, and individual and team accountability. Yeah. And the constant ball busting going on between the boys feels honest and genuine because it shows exactly how real men talk when they trust each other. Yeah. And all the crudeness and whatnot, it strips away any pretense, right? And it shows us what it takes to show up, to grind through the pain, whatever it is, and hold yourself and your brothers to a higher standard. The boys' interaction in this show is the heart of it. Yeah, Shoresy, he's the lead character, and he unleashes just relentless ball busting on the boys, and back and forth, right? It's Dolo, Hitch, Goody, Michaels, they all rip each other, man, and it's so funny. But behind every single jab, you can tell that it's rooted in loyalty and love, man. Like, there is no malice. Yeah, there is no malice you can tell by the way they're talking. And they regularly hold kangaroo courts to keep each other accountable, And throughout the season, they end up winning. They throw a trophy parade, and it brought the whole town to get like the whole town together. But most importantly, throughout this, you'll see that in the later seasons, they mentor the next generation, man. And it's funny in the show, and it's the way they do it, and it's very clever. But the mentorship is a very real thing. And as a team, right, this is the Sudbury Bulldogs is the name of the team there. And they will not leave a teammate behind, man. And the way they talk to each other is the language of brothers who they have each other's backs no matter what, and no matter how immature the language sounds. Because it is that, it sounds immature, but it's only on the surface, man. And that's what's brilliant about this show. It's on the surface, it's just clowning and bad language, but just a little bit deeper. That's all it is, just a little bit deeper, and you will see it's just some depths like you just won't expect. Episode after episode, well, they just get better and better, but Shoresy drops life lessons, man. Life lessons. Especially in loyalty and dedication and family, even. Yeah. But it does it. The show does it. This is one of the brilliant bits here, is that the show does all this without being preachy or self-righteous. Now, I just said it's a Canadian show, and that implies to me that it's a little bit liberal as far as politics goes. But it doesn't get into that. It's deeper than that. Way deeper than that. And it talks about loyalty in a way that means that, like, you carry the weight when your teammate slips. When your teammate's down, you pick it up. And it talks about dedication. And it shows dedication. It doesn't talk about it. It shows it in action. Just throughout I want to say season 3, where they went from a winless, team to the no-show league champions through, whether it was, pure dedication, determination, but also maybe out of spite, just to show everyone else, very much a FU to everyone else who wrote them off. You know what I mean? It's very good. And then I said family. There's even a glimpse into Shoresy's life, family life. No, I don't mean wife and kids. Clearly they're all single guys. his family is like a non-traditional family, right? All his brothers, they're all grown foster kids, but they're all very, very close, and they all just are fiercely loyal to one another and supportive. And yeah, I want the dad's a widower, I think, and one of his brothers is black and one of his sisters is Asian, and whatever. They cover all the stuff, yeah. But not in a woke way, just in a hey, this is real life kind of way. And that's the brilliance of it. That's the brilliance of it. And then, yes, that's the family, but the family dynamics really show the most in the team room or in the locker room. The way the boys interact. Yeah, the way they interact and the way they go through the whatever emotional ups and downs. Man, such a brilliant show. You get pulled into it and you're rooting for the team, man. That's it. You are. And when they do win that season and they win the cup, man, and Shoresy raises the cup, you can feel every emotion, right? The cost of winning that season, the effort that was put into it, and the pride that came, just the camera work on the ice. I mean, yeah, you see some action on the ice a lot, but a lot of times the action's in the background. You don't see it, but you see the results or the angst or the emotion during it without actually being on the ice. But some of the shots from the ice, oh my God, it's like some triumphant, freaking epic war movie. Oh my God. And watching their faces, man, like it seems like those boys are out playing hockey for keeps, for real. And it's a TV show, for crying out loud. You feel the depth. Man, it's done so well, and it's easy to blow it off. It's very easy to blow it off, but it's done so well. And even in the off season, right? Season 4 is them. They're like, it's summertime. So they've won the cup and now it's party time, right? They spend all summer just cruising around town with the cup, hitting all the landmarks, drinking it up. But that summer is also when they start actually mentoring the Lakers, the Sudbury Lakers, the younger, I say youth, and that they're not kids. I mean, they're like teenagers, you know what I mean? And that's good. But even then, man, it hammers home like the culture of hard work that got him there. And then Shoresy goes into coaching, and he goes into coaching with a very simple rule, and it's this, and it's go where you're needed. So we're going to talk about leadership for a little bit during this episode here. The TV show's great. And Shoresy is a fictional character who he gives a straight up masterclass in leadership and accountability and drive. And as the character, as the team leader, right, or the team captain or whatever he is, he leads from the front. Yeah, that's a very military thing, leading from the front. And he fights through injuries or skates through them. He's out there playing, and everybody does through the whole team because he demands that exact same thing from everybody. And one of the episodes was hilarious. They were all injured, and when they were like, "Oh, you're about a 4 to 6. You 4 to 6. That means that's supposed to be their recovery time from their injury, but they're out there playing, and that's good or bad, in real life. But I'm just saying, it hammers home their dedication and their grit, to play through. And then he starts recruiting, new guys, and his one thing is, do you love winning? Yeah, but do you hate losing more? It's yeah, everybody loves winning. Do you hate losing? And it's so brilliant, and it's delivered so good. And even in the team room, man, or the locker room, it's like he, the tough love sort of thing. And there's just absolutely zero tolerance for excuses, right? Every dude on the team owns their mistakes. Or even when they're just didn't even make an obvious mistake, they're just not up to it today. Not up to the level. And they own it, man. They own it. And there's ball busting. But then also, it's not just ball busting. I mean, there's like sort of a quiet off to the side support if somebody really needs it. Like, and he sees that, as good leaders do. And eventually, I think season 4, maybe he's out of the game, right? He takes such a hard injury that he can't skate anymore. And not because he can't skate anymore, but because he looks at it like possibly he's a liability now. And he would rather help the team in some other way than to be a liability on the ice. And that's brilliant. It's brilliant in itself. And to break that down, I mean, to see the episode go and you're like, oh man, yeah, that's tough for Shoresy. But if you break that down, man, into the emotional toll to a guy who put a career on the ice and then it's time to go, oh man. But he stays in the sport. It's just, but once he hangs up the skates, he stays in the game, right? And he still keeps the same fire and the same drive and the same leadership sort of role, but it's from a position of mentorship, right? And protecting the team legacy, which is important. And then he goes into coaching. And he's just an example, man, of very clear and unclouded vision for the team, absolute integrity for the team, and then he genuinely cares for his homies. And those kind of qualities, those are qualities that men look up to. Now look, Jared Keeso is the guy, the actor. And I don't know what that guy's like in real life. I don't know if he's a good leader in real life. But if he's not, he's a world-class actor. Because you don't just memorize the lines and deliver them in the way that he does. I think he probably is a real-life leader. And he probably does have those qualities. Now, obviously, Shoresy is a character, right? He's a larger-than-life character. And, Keeso may or may not be. But it's brilliant in the way he delivers, and I think he delivers based on, I don't know, maybe some experience, or maybe just even in the acting world. I think he created all Letterkenny and Shoresy, and that takes some effort, man. Like, that's a big undertaking, and I imagine you got to be a leader even in that sense to be able to deliver the lines the way he does, and the concepts the way he does, the leadership concepts. As you watch, and please do watch. Like I said, if he's not a good leader, he's a world-class actor. You could take little 5-minute clips of Shoresy leadership moments and create a whole leadership series just based on that. Because he drops some wisdom, and it's like understated, right? It's shaped out with a little humor, and that's what makes it just, it's palatable, right? Because it's with humor, so you can accept it without feeling like you're being judged or whatnot. But it breeds success. Everything he says breeds success. And if you're in a leadership role, regardless of what field you're in, do yourself a favor and go watch season 5, episode 1. The episode's called Keep It Simple. And Shoresy's interactions, there's a young player named Jack he's struggling, right? Struggling. And so Shoresy and a couple of the boys go up with the kid's mom to go up to a game, to give him some, support, right? And the interactions between Shoresy and Jack. So Shoresy hits him before the first period, and he gives him a nugget of wisdom. And he talks to him, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, what's going on? This and that and the other. And then you don't see the hockey play, right? It flashes to like Shoresy and the boys in the stands and some other stuff. You don't ever see the gameplay. And then the kid just took what Shoresy said, implemented it, and boom. And then he says, I'll see you in second period. So then the second period, before the second period, he comes back and says, hey, you're a hero, man. You did it. Now do this. He's like, but I can't do that. No, you did this. Now do that. And the kid's like, I'll try. And he goes out and he executes. And he's like, I'll see you third period. And then the kid comes back after the second period. He did what he said he was going to do and what Shoresy guided him to do. Man, masterclass. It applies to sports for sure, but it applies to every leadership role, any leadership role, man. So brilliant. And look, I don't know you don't have to be a hockey fan. You don't even have to know much about hockey to fall in love with this show. The characters alone win your heart instantly. They're honest. They're loyal to each other. Their interactions. They're just the personalities, man. They're all unique. They're all different. They're all funny as hell. And most of them are missing like a front tooth. It's great. And then Shoresy, he's larger than life. His larger than life style kind of hides the depth. And I think it kind of does that on purpose, man. And like I said, if Kiso's not a genuine guy, genuine leader, I think he genuinely loves hockey. He's one of the best actors on the planet. Because that guy sells every single scene, either with a smile or even with pain. Whatever it is, he sells every single scene, man. And the whole crew, all the boys, they just feel like a group of dependable dudes that you already know or knew, throughout your life, and dudes you would trust in a fight or at any job or any mission. Now look, if I bet you any SF guy, Special Forces guy that watches this, they immediately see their own ODA bros on the screen. Because the boys on the screen, they throw the same dark humor under pressure. They show the same just limitless loyalty when things go south, when things turn ugly. And they all, each and every one, run toward the hard work, run toward the fight with the same drive, the same determination. You can look at those dudes and you can think of personality, guys you knew on your ODA or guys you knew, in your company. And you can see them, man. You can see it. And you can look at the boys on screen and you can see any and every one of those dudes in uniform, right? You could see it. That's the kind of guys that they depict. That's the kind of guys that they are. And why is that? It's because they live a code of like brotherhood and accountability and holding each other up and keeping each other in check. And you see that on the screen and you can feel that. Man, it's so brilliant. And there's another aspect here that I think is important. This whole modern, political to a degree, but take on toxic masculinity. It kind of takes that on. This show takes that on head on, man. Because the show celebrates like real, proper, authentic manhood. Yeah, that's rooted in loyalty and hard work and dedication to each other and that kind of stuff. That's what manhood's rooted in. And these dudes, the boys, they are loud, they are physical, they're crass and unfiltered. But then at the same time, they cry during the national anthem. Shoresy, throughout the whole season, he's known for crying at little small, like emotional moments that you might not think are emotional. One, I think on this season 5, I think the second episode, Shoresy's supposed to do like a sports show, TV show with Wayne Gretzky. And when the producer told him that, he pulled his hat down over his eyes, and he was just with his head down. And the ladies are like, "Are you crying?" Because he idolized Wayne Gretzky, right, the great one, and yeah, man, it's funny. Yeah, they cry during the national anthem. These men are emotional, right? They're just hard men, but they're emotional. They support each other through heartbreak, like real heartbreak. They mentor the new generation with patience and empathy, because they remember. That's the thing. There was a line the mom asks, "How are you so good with the kid?" And he's, "Because I was a kid." He remembers. He didn't let that go. He remembers what it was like to be a kid coming up, getting mentored by some other rock star, And that stuff is all contrary to what everybody's crying about, the toxic masculinity. The show mocks like that stuff, and it mocks it hard. The sensitivity seminars and like soft hockey where they penalize hitting. And what it does, though, the show masterfully shows that real strength includes some emotional depth, especially for the game, right? But especially for the boys beside you, your brothers, the men to your right and left. That's what you'll hear in the military all the time. For the men to the left and the right of you, that's why you do what you do. And what this show shows, and it's legit, is that it shows that masculinity builds people up. It holds everyone accountable, but it builds people up. And what it does not do is it does not apologize for being masculine. It does not apologize for wanting to win. And it certainly doesn't apologize for hating to lose. It glorifies masculinity and the way that masculinity is positive. The catchphrase toxic masculinity is just that. It's a political catchphrase. There's toxic femininity. There's toxic, name a personality trait, then there's a toxic version of it. So toxic masculinity doesn't mean anything at all. It's just a way to belittle men. And whatever, I think gaslight men. I think that's a term that people like to use. Every personality trait, it all has a toxic version to it, folks. So don't get wrapped around that. If you're a man hater, think about why. I hate toxic masculinity. I like sensitive guys. Well, sensitive guys, you can be masculine and be sensitive. You can be masculine and have emotions. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to spill them out all over the place all the time. But yeah, man, this show celebrates masculinity. Now, look, that being said, every female character in this show, they're strong. Yeah, they're strong characters. They're independent. They're like the team owner is a woman and her crew. The team owner and then 2 like native girls. So they highlight their independence and their role in running the show and helping the team to be successful, et cetera, et cetera. And they're pivotal in it, in fact. And yeah. Now, I don't know how much this show appeals to women, but I'm telling you right now that every woman in that show is a prominent, strong woman. There ain't just some barefoot and pregnant chick. Now there's hot chicks all over the place. Yes, they're all, you know, attractive. They're all attractive. No dude about it. But anyway, celebrates masculinity. Yep, it celebrates it. And the women balance that out because they call out bullshit. It's great. It's brilliant the way they interact. So look, I encourage you to watch it, and as you do, just keep the leadership aspects in mind. Keep the leadership aspects in mind. Look at it and go, oh yeah, I can see how that, under the subterfuge of, your mom jokes and I banged your mom jokes, which there's a million of them. Under that, look for the goodness. Yeah, the leadership goodness, because it is goodness. And under that, look at the work ethic and the team dynamics. Shoresy is a rare treasure in today's streaming world, folks. There's a lot of garbage. There's some good stuff, there's entertaining things, but Shoresy is a rare treasure. And it keeps you laughing, for sure. But all the while, it reminds us that loyalty, hard work, and accountability still matter. And in the modern age here of softness and wokeness and non-binariness and friggin' all the stuff, right, that's going on, this show celebrates men being men with all their flaws, with all their crass humor, immature humor. Deep commitment to each other is what they have, and that's what it highlights and it celebrates. So however immature it is, because it is to a degree, that's just a veil. You can see the deeper stuff in there. And if you watch this show, I promise you that it will fire you up for the grind. Whatever your grind is, man, it will fire you up. And it'll make you want to stand taller for your people, your team, your crew. And it'll make you hate losing. Yeah. Watch Shoresy. It's got some hidden brilliance in it, folks. Watch it. Reach out to me, good people. TheJuntoPodcast.com. Go check out OspreyShootingSolutions.com. I've just posted some new stuff up there for our consulting offerings there for our facility assessments and SOP development, that kind of thing. So go check it out, please. If you're a leader, if you're a business owner, if you're a organizational leader of any kind, and your security posture may be lacking, give me a call. Free consult over a cup of coffee or at your place of business or whatever. Yeah, reach out, folks. Give me your input. Give me your feedback. Give me suggestions. Okay, good people. I love you. Be safe.